You already know what time it is.
Okay, but before we get into anything today, we want to say this up front for our listeners that if you've ever felt completely drained by your sport or your job or your life and told yourself, I'm just tired, it's fine, this episode is for you. Hi, everyone. I'm CiCi.
And I'm Mariza.
And this is Athlete Life Unfiltered. Burnout gets thrown around a lot, but we want to be very clear. Burnout isn't just about being tired. It's not just one bad week, one hard practice, or even one rough season.
It's what happens when being exhausted becomes your normal and you stop questioning it.
Yeah, and the reason we miss burnout so often as athletes is because exhaustion is literally built into the culture of being an athlete. Mm-hmm. And we're taught that if you're not tired, you're not working hard enough.
Yeah, it's like pushing through is what's praised, and rest feels like you're quitting, and saying that you're struggling can feel like you're letting your team down and your coaches or even your family down. And it's a sad cycle.
So today, we're not here to tell you to quit your sport. We want you to help you understand and identify what burnout actually is and how to recognize the signs before you hit that breaking point.
Yeah, because burnout doesn't mean that you're weak. It usually means that you've been strong for way too long without support.
And if being exhausted feels normal, this episode might hit close to home. So, starting off, we are going to take a different turn for today's episode and read a Reddit story to start us off. Something that really caught my attention when researching stuff about burnout, looking at other athletes' stories and seeing kind of what other people go through. Because I know I've hit burnout myself in my job, in my athletic career, in different stages of life. And so I just kind of wanted to see and get other people's perspective. So I think a lot of us can relate to this. It's titled Sports Burnout. It's quick, it's short, but this OP says, I am a Division I tennis player and have been playing competitive tennis for 13 years. I am on a full scholarship with extra monthly stipend, but I can't do it anymore. I hate it. I cry most mornings before practice. I get panic attacks from competing. I get about 4 hours of sleep a night trying to juggle a 3.8 GPA, a social life, and playing line 1 at a Division I school. I can't do it anymore. I am so beyond burned out that I don't feel healthy, and I don't enjoy a single second of it, and I feel stuck. So much that I pray for an injury so I don't have to play anymore. It's so much pressure being nationally ranked and playing in a number 1 spot that I feel like I'm drowning. My older and younger siblings all play and played Division I sports, and both of my parents competed in the Olympics. So sports is very important to my family. And even though I have taken time away from the tennis court multiple times, I feel the exact same way every time that I start. I don't know what to do or how to tell my parents that I hate my life. And I'm scared I'm throwing away something great. I keep trying to push through, but I have officially surpassed my limit and can't do this anymore. Please help me.
My heart hurts.
No, honestly.
Uh-huh.
When I first read that, I was like, man, this kind of hit home for a lot of feelings that I felt before. And I just want to give this person a hug.
I hate that for her.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that she said, I hate my life. Like that.
Yeah.
And she's like tried multiple times to like take a step back.
Right.
Oh.
And then being surrounded by your family members who are just as competitive.
Yeah.
If not more. And the expectation is high.
Yeah, the expectation, and you start thinking like, oh, they're gonna think I'm the family failure. Like, oh,
I just want to dance.
I
No, I'm just
know.
kidding.
And then and not only that, she just wants to chill. Like she
needs a break.
She
needs to step away for like more than just a weekend.
Yeah.
She's definitely, this person like definitely, I don't know if it's a boy or girl, but this definitely hit burnout. Like you have reached that phase.
If this is you, I'm sorry, but you are in the burnout.
Yeah.
You are in it. You are in the burnout.
The burnout segment of your life. But honestly, it felt real reading like you've been playing this one sport for 13 years. I have played volleyball for just as long, if not longer. Longer than some of the girls that I've coached.
Well, and it's
crazy.
It's crazy because like that's kind of, if you're serious about your sport, that's how long you're gonna be playing, if not more.
Yeah. And then for this person's parents to be in the Olympics, both of them, like as if my parents being collegiate athletes wasn't already a pedestal. That I had to meet.
Yeah. That's like raising the bar.
Going to the Olympics. That is the bar.
Yeah.
That's like the highest bar you could have.
Well, and it's also a lot of pressure for her because she's on that scholarship and the stipends that she's getting. Like that's your job. Like you need to maintain that. And it sucks because like at that level, you don't have PTO or time off. Like you just can't just, hey, I'm not going to go to practice today. Like you can't just do that.
Which we've talked about before, how like once you get to the collegiate level, it is a job in itself. Yeah. Like once you're playing in college and you're getting a scholarship, that is a job. So it is and can be mentally draining because you are having to do exactly that. You're having to play/work. You have to make sure that you're still going to school because you're doing it all while going to college and getting a degree. And then you have to figure out
academic scholar, like
right,
a high GPA.
That's what I'm saying is like you're not just bypassing classes. You're like
you're in it.
Like you're like, no, I need an A. Yeah. Or at least that standard that you've set for yourself is like, I need an A. I need to pass. I need to do more than just pass. I need to excel in everything that I do.
Yeah.
That takes a toll.
I just feel like there's so much. I mean, I don't know what all she has done. It seems that she's done a lot to try to avoid it, but hopefully this podcast reaches out to her and we can help her a little bit with that. But that's a lot.
It is a lot. And I know that the first time I ever remember actually feeling anywhere remotely close to this is probably when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Because of how much pressure I was holding for myself.
Yeah. Very similar, y'all, too.
Yeah.
Not to the standard, the pedestal that you're talking about, but you were going through all of it too. Kind of.
And I've mentioned it before, but like the pressure of being a coach's kid and having to be the best all the time. It got to me. And I carried it all throughout college.
Did you feel like you were in burnout then? Or like, did you?
I mean, I didn't know it at the time. When I look back on it, yeah, absolutely. In a way. Not like to a full breaking point where I just hung up my jersey and never turned around because I still went to college to play volleyball. But I always identified as like volleyball was my life. That one sport was my everything. Yeah. I did it. I lived just to play volleyball, it felt like sometimes. And so since it was so much of my identity, I think that I didn't really stop to think about anything else until I got older and got into college and started to get hurt. Started to have a social life, started to see the world and life in a different perspective.
Yeah.
That it was like, oh, it is not everything.
I feel like that kind of talks about like where you're talking like the mental, emotional, and physical routes of burnout. Like you didn't know you were in burnout, but you were starting to kind of see the signs and symptoms.
Right.
Because it's not just a mental thing, burnout. It's more of a physical, mental, and emotional toll on your body. right? So like it's the mental capacity that you're having, like the drain that it's taking on your body.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, you started getting sick, you started seeing like you were like brain fog, all of these things, and that starts taking all of these things into consideration, start to show the signs of burnout. And I feel like
Right.
that might have been you and you didn't even realize it.
And now it could have, not it could have been, it was a lot of things that I didn't think about it because it was never brought up before. We lived in a different time where this stuff wasn't a norm, like burnouts weren't a thing, or at least
Nobody was talked about. Yeah.
Nobody talked about it. Nobody had like imposter syndrome, stuff like that. Nobody talked about mental health at all. And so it was just, like we said, it was something that you just did. You just did because you were told to do it. And you have a hard week. You just go through it. Now it's easier for us to break it down and be like, is it just a hard week? Or am I in a spiral?
Yeah. Is it more like chronic?
Is it going to turn into something else? Am I allowing this one bad week to turn into 2 bad weeks, to turn into 1 bad month, to 2 bad months, to a whole year, to create this overload? And a hard week is just like, all right, I have a lot going on. I have exams. I have a tough match. I have, with tough matches, you get hard practices. But I have all these things that are coming up all in this one week, but that week will pass, right? But sometimes you can get caught up. I know I've gotten caught up where it's like, okay, this one bad week, I come in and I'm like, it's Monday, like new week, new me. And then one bad thing goes wrong and then it immediately goes back into that. It's a hard week again. And if you don't know how to identify it, it is really hard to not be stuck in that spiral.
Yeah. And so that hard week is different, like you said. You have that 1 week you can recuperate from with the weekend or some time off. You take a step back and it's just, like you said, a hard week versus the chronicity of burnout, which is, okay, this hard week bleeds into the next hard week. The next thing you know, now you're physically drained, mentally drained, emotionally drained. And now it's just this vicious cycle that you can't get out of. And that just starts becoming your life. Now you're kind of like this Reddit where it's just kind of, man, I hate my life. I don't want to wake up in the morning. I don't want to go see these people. I don't want to go to practice. I don't want to go to class. I'm skipping meals. I don't want, like, and it's just this cycle. And that's where you start noticing that you're in this burnout realm, which unfortunately, like, it's that bad week turns into burnout. So not necessarily saying burnout is one hard week, but without catching the signs, then it can lead to burnout.
Because burnout, it's not just one day. It's not one bad day is the rest of your life. Yeah. It's when there's no real recovery to it. Or at least you've gotten into this hole that you've dug.
And it's hard to get out.
Yeah.
Or you don't know how to get out.
So if that's what burnout is, how do you know when it's starting?
We kind of touched on it a little bit. There are 3 main signs. The physical signs is the first one.
Yeah.
Physical meaning your body starts to take like it starts wear and tear at your body. You're getting sick a lot. You're getting injured a lot. You have this constant like ache, soreness that you're like, oh, I didn't really work out harder. Like, why am I feeling this on my body? Like, why is this taking a toll? Like, you're not sleeping through the night. Like she says, she only gets 4 hours of sleep. Like that, you can't function off of 4 hours of sleep. No matter who you are, what you're doing, you need more than 4 hours of sleep, like 6 to 8 minimum, right? So it's like, okay, now you're doing so much that your body has no time to rest during your sleep. And then the training just feels longer, harder, heavier on your body. It's taking that toll. So it's physical aspect that you start seeing is the first thing.
And it's crazy how much our bodies can talk to us. Yeah. Without us even realizing it. Like your body can make itself physically sick
and shut down
to show you a sign to shut down, but to show you a sign like I need rest.
Yeah. Like, hey, Like, you don't have enough stored energy in your body.
Please sit down.
to continue through this practice, or you don't have enough to go through this.
Yeah.
Like, your brain will actually not start remembering things if you don't have enough energy. You need energy. You need like cell energy to actually remember things. Let's say you're going through a test, right? In order to store the stuff that you just studied, you have to sleep so that your brain can retain that. People who pull an all-nighter, you're not retaining any of that information because your brain physically needs sleep to retain it. So
I literally would like hard crash study for an exam and be like, I'm gonna stay up all night so I remember everything, and then go into the exam and completely fail
you blank. Yeah. And it's because you did not go through the process of actually learning that, which and memorization of, you need that sleep to retain that information. I would study hardcore, and then I would make sure, no matter how prepared I felt or not, I was getting an appropriate amount of sleep the night before. So I would study really hard, and then like at midnight I was asleep.
I want to make sure I see my note card in my brain as I'm sleeping.
I would go to sleep
all
and
the
be
notes
like
to be like jumping sheep.
I would go to sleep and be like, okay, I need to go to sleep so I can retain all of the information that I just studied.
Yeah.
I'm like this person, like pouring the book into my brain.
Yeah. Whereas I would sleep on the book to see if I could retain everything I was studying. Now, since you are a DPT, Miss Dr. Mariza,
that's me.
Have you ever met or heard like a patient or an athlete talk about any of those signs, the physical signs of it?
I mean, I have had a few patients who have started showing red flags for burnout. Now, there's a few. There's some that come in and I talk to them and I'm like, hey, you have this injury. In the physical therapy world, you should be progressing more, right? And I have a one-to-one with them. I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, why are we still having pain when we're going for a light jog? Like, we're kind of past that now. And there was this one time where I was just talking heart to heart with this girl, and she did it all. Like, she was like us. She played volleyball, basketball, and then she ran track, and then she was also in club, and her parents wanted her to play tennis and golf. So it was like, okay, catch a break.
All of them shared like the same season.
Yeah, and exactly. And so she had injured herself in basketball, kind of leading into golf. And so I was like, hey, so like, why is it flaring up? Like, what's really going on? She's like, well, I don't really want to go play golf, or I don't really want to. She was like, I don't want to go back into the sport. Like, it's too much, and I don't love it, and the girls are mean, and I just my mom wants me to play. She bought me new shoes, and I don't want to play anymore. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. Like, let's talk about it. Let's digest that. And you shouldn't have to, right? So having that conversation with her, getting her ready for the sport that she wanted to. And I was like, well, we can take off this. I don't mind taking it on my end. I'll tell your mom, hey, she's not ready to go back yet.
Yeah.
Right. And then just give you the time to recover, get you 100% so that we get you back into what you want. So kind of helping her in that realm of the burnout, and it's like, okay, let's take a step back.
Yeah, before she reaches it. Yeah. Because you're pushing yourself like a little too much mentally and physically, in my opinion, in that area, especially being so young.
Yeah. And then there's the other aspect of it, where the patient wanted to do all of these things, but they kept getting re-injured. And I'm like, hey,
that's your
we're
body
not going to get back, and we're not going to get better, and we're not going to get into our sport if you don't chill out. Like, what did you do this weekend? She's like, well, I had a basketball tournament on Friday, and then I had a track meet on Saturday, and then I went to club practice on Sunday, and then my athletics class, we were running sprints on Monday. And I'm like, cool. You're doing too much. You're in PT for a reason.
Yeah.
We need to take a step back so that you can, one, you don't burn out, and two, you need to give your body time to rest, so that you can meet the physical demands of everything that you are doing,
or at least expected to do.
So,
and it's crazy because no matter what age, I think it's hard for a lot of people to understand that will lead to what burnout is. That will lead to everything that we're talking about. And nobody being taught how to handle burnout gets stuck and just being like, well, this is how I'm supposed to just deal with it.
Well, and that's the thing. They ignore it.
Yeah.
They think this is normal, right? They don't.
Now, I want to know, how many athletes do you think ignore these kinds of signs?
We ignored it.
We did.
We ignored it. And I think every athlete is going to ignore it. Yeah. I think every athlete's going to ignore it, or every person who's on the brink of burnout has this film where they're not realizing, man, I'm in burnout.
Well, because like I said earlier, is we get taught so much that like, if you are not tired, you are not working hard enough, which is, when you stop to actually think about it, crazy. I'm over here crying to go to bed. I don't want to wake up and go to work. Like, that's not normal.
No. And that feeds into the next sign, which is the mental sign, right? You start dreading practices. You start dreading work, right? Or I don't want to help these people. I don't want to, like, this coworker annoys me. My boss is asking too much. I'm going to call in today. I don't want to go to work today. Like, there's, and then you start overthinking.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you start overthinking everything, and or you make a mistake, and then you start to shut down 10 times more.
Yeah, and you get that brain fog and all of that. And so those are all the mental aspects or mental signs, right? Of like, you're physically in practice, but mentally you're not there.
Yeah. I can raise my hand to that one, because I have been there too many times that I'd like to admit, to where I'm staring off into space. I don't remember what I'm doing, even though it's something that I've been doing for so long. But when I'm mentally out of it, I physically start to be out of it. And it's crazy as a coach, because I could see that on other people.
Yeah.
I'm like, hello, are you even here?
And I feel bad, because it's like people start going, I don't care.
Oh, I have a lot of those.
I don't care what happens today in practice, or I don't care if I hit this into the net. I don't care if I hit a PR. Like, and then that's just that mental.
Hurts. Yeah. As a coach and as a parent, I would never want my son to feel like that. But as a coach, when we care so much about it, it's really, really hard to see athletes go through that I don't care phase. And it's just like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Because then you want to start projecting. But I feel like, as a coach or as a parent, instead of pushing harder, you need to kind of take a step back.
Yeah.
And really dig a little deeper on, why don't you care?
And a song pop in my head.
Dig a little deeper.
Yes. Princess and the Frog. But it's also like with the performance pressure of it all. Like, you have this high demand from everybody. And the bar of the expectation is here. And I was just talking to a couple athletes this weekend, because they left a tournament crying and just being like, not enjoying the sport. And it's like, there's reasons why, not that the coach is picking on you, but coaching you a little bit harder than maybe some other athletes. And it's because that expectation that we know you can meet, there's a bar. But if it's not communicated ahead of time that there's something going on, a bad week, a bad day, because those things happen, that coach or that outside person, your parent, is going to hold you to that expectation. Now, unless you have communicated otherwise, the expectation bar can drop and move and change or whatever. But if it's always staying up here and you're not communicating, you're going to constantly be pushed down, keep digging that hole for you. And you're like, they keep yelling at me. I can't get out of this.
You're in it mentally, and then they're pushing harder. So then you're physically draining yourself. And then it goes into the emotional signs, which is number 3.
Yeah.
And so now you're snapping at your coaches are snapping at you. You're failing your teammates, or you're like starting to kind of feel like this numbness take over your body, where you're just kind of like, back to that, I don't care. Yeah. Or I don't care if we win this game.
Yeah.
Right. And then now your teammates are yelling at you, and you're like, I don't care if you set me.
Then you start to even hold this like guilt on yourself of like, well, I can't take a break, because they're expecting so much of me. I can't ask for a break. I need one. Like, you're identifying that, but you don't know how to ask for it, and you can't do it. I do it for work. Yeah. We get PTO. so many people, including myself, are scared to ask for time off, even though we get it.
Or I don't use PTO to actually like take a break.
To actually take a break. I'm
if
using
sick,
it. Yeah. I'm using it for something else. If I'm sick, I'm still working.
I'm on a beach somewhere if I'm taking PTO.
Whereas me, I'm like, I need PTO just to clean my house.
Yeah.
Insane.
But even then, they don't give you PTO for like mental health days. Like that's.
Well, I bet other countries do.
Oh well.
I bet other countries do because
they take mental health siestas during lunch.
I need one of those.
Yeah. But yeah, you do start feeling guilty on like the things that start weighing you down, and then you're like, oh, I have to perform, I have to keep going, so many people are relying on me, I can't just stop.
Right. And then you start to detach yourself from it. When you start to become detached from your sport, your person, yourself, from this thing that you love, it creates this heavy emotional state that you put yourself into.
Well, and just like this girl, she was like, I hate it. I hate it. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to live anymore. Like,
and getting to that point where you're like, I hate this. That is another level. It's different if you're like, that was a horrible practice. I hate this. Like, you walk away and you're like, whatever, right? Yeah. You brush it off because you're like, that was a bad practice. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. But no, sitting there and physically saying, I hate this. Crying before practices.
Yeah. And the emotional toll of like, I'm going to be the family failure if I don't continue. And
all this is so real. Like the feeling of all this is real, at least for me who has been there several times, more times than no. It's normal.
Yeah. It's totally normal to feel burnout.
Absolutely.
And it shouldn't be something that
you feel guilty on. It shouldn't be something that somebody else makes you feel guilty on.
No.
And as a coach, I would hate that. As much as I want to push my athletes to be at every practice, to be at every game, if I start to see that they are detaching themselves from something, I don't want to create that burnout.
Yeah, I think you do a good job on like communicating with your athletes. And I think as parents of people, of young athletes, or even just in general, like as parents and as coaches, put yourself in their shoes, acknowledge what they're going through, and know that everybody's different, and ask them, is this a lot? What are they going through? Are they experiencing burnout? What can I do to help them? Like, that's a big one. You give your girls so much grace. Like, you're like, hey girls, let's take this weekend off. Let's regroup. Go do something that you love other than volleyball. Go to the beach. Go tanning. Go hang out with your friends. Right. This day off, regroup, and we'll talk about it next week.
Right. We'll come back better.
Yeah, better.
In hopes to come back better.
And breaking that cycle of that chronic burnout feeling.
Because I've been in that spot where I wish somebody would have said all those things, but it's hard because I'm going to use you as my example, but if I see you doing it and you don't look like you're holding any sign of frustration, hate, guilt, pressure, any of those signs, it's like, well, how is she holding up? How is she able to do? If she can do it, I should be able to do it.
Yeah.
And it's this constant comparison that so many people do, being like, well, if she's doing it, I should be able to do it. He can do that. I should be able to do that.
That's fair.
Or I could be able to do that. Or I am able to do that. Let me go do that. Let me push myself. And then you don't realize that you are at the edge of the breaking point. And everybody's breaking point is different. Whereas you might be able to hold yourself a little bit better than others.
Yeah. And you don't know that person's story. You don't know where they're at. You don't know what emotional, physical, or mental battles they're going through.
Right.
Maybe they're not. Maybe they just had a great weekend doing nothing, catching up on sleep, visiting with friends. Their cup is full. They're refreshed, and you're not. So having that comparison is so hard because, again, you don't know what that person's going through. Maybe that person woke up and was like, I'm going to have the best practice of my life, right? Being that bubbly, full of energy, and that was their goal for the day. Yours is like completely different, and you're like trying not to drown, and then you're gonna have to.
I just want to make it to practice.
Yeah, and then you're crying before practice, and then you're seeing me thriving, and it's hard.
It definitely weighs on you mentally. But it's crazy because like, why do we even ignore those signs? Like, why is it that we set that comparison up? Why is it that we ignore ourselves, but look at others and say that they're doing it. I need to push myself to do it and just get over it.
It ties into your identity.
Mm-hmm.
It ties into the identity, which we talked about last time. Like, who are you, right? And what you identify as an athlete. You want to find out, okay, what is my boundary? What is my peak?
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to find who you are in this sport, and you don't understand your boundary, so it's hard to tell, am I at that line of burnout?
Right. Similar to what we talked about with the whole imposter syndrome, where this identity crisis comes in because you tie yourself so much to the sport that you play.
Then you have that fear of, okay, well, I am this identity. I need to be and withhold myself to that standard. Like homegirl over here, she has to hold herself to the Olympic standard. Well, what if she didn't want to be an Olympian? You know, like then she's missing all of the signs prior. The end goal was just so far out of her reach, or at least she could see what she wanted to be, and the obstacles she was just kind of pushing out of her way, because there was only one goal in her mind. You know,
as an adult now, and we've talked about this on prior episodes, we've had a plan before. And we set out this plan when we were in high school, when we were in college, this 5-year plan, what your goal is. And then now as an adult, you know, we still have goals and stuff, but I look back and I'm like, I'm not even doing half those things that I had already planned. But if I were to have dwelled and held on to the fact that I'm not on that same path, it would still hurt me, and I would be beating myself up. Whereas OP in the story is talking about how her parents are at this pedestal, like I said. That may have been her goal growing up, as when she first started or was in the middle of all of it, and was just like, my goal is to go to college. All right, goal 1 checked off. Now I'm going to push myself to be the best in the state or in the nation and all this other stuff. And then
I want to beat my brothers and sisters.
Yes, I want to become my mom and the prodigy of my parents, and I want to be what they have expected of me. And then you start to create this whole plan for yourself that if you don't follow that plan, one little mishap that does not follow that plan, the entire world becomes heavy on you.
And I feel like we went through that as far as missing the signs of burnout because of
the high expectations,
all of the things that we just, like we said, we thrive off of our ADHD thrives off of the chaos.
Yes.
We learned how to find a balance with it all. And then who we were as our identity, right? We were just always on the go. And I don't think we took time to actually be like, hey, should I take a break? Do I need to sit down? And I think we may have missed signs of burnout and not realize it.
And since we were always on the go, I feel like we never really stopped, because I think at least personally, if I would have stopped, I probably would have caught those burnout signs. And realizing that makes me think that like burnout thrives in silence. Because the moment it becomes silent, everything starts rushing and being like, you're a failure, you can't do this, you can't do that, and you should have been at practice, you should have pushed harder, you should have did this, you should have did that, why didn't you get an A, why didn't you pass your test, why didn't you wake up earlier, why didn't you do this? And then you start to beat yourself up.
On a twist on that note, though, that the burnout thrives in silence, I feel like that also pertains in the work field, because I feel like that can happen very quickly, of not being able to say no. Right? So like that is my silence. I don't speak up. I don't say, hey, I need a break. I don't tell people, hey, I don't have the capacity for that right now. Like that is my silence. Like saying, hey, coach, I need a day off. Hey, coach, my body's not feeling right. Like that is using your voice to avoid burnout. But instead we're silencing that voice. And that burnout thrives in that silence.
And some ways that we can try to catch it, it's just asking simple questions of, you know, am I excited? Or do I just feel obligated? Or when was the last time that I actually felt rested? That's something that I need to ask myself a little bit more. So I couldn't tell you the answer to that, to be honest.
Yep.
Do I still enjoy doing this?
Like,
or do I just feel pressure into doing it?
Yeah. I think that's a big one for our OP here.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy this? She doesn't enjoy it anymore.
Right. Like you feel pressured. And then my favorite one that would have helped me a lot earlier in my life is, if I had permission to rest, would I?
Ooh, that's a good one.
So that's something that I personally think that our listeners should ask themselves.
And I feel like in a perspective with you guys listening, okay, and what if? You know what I mean? Like, okay, if you asked me that question, I would probably say, no, I wouldn't have rested, because I felt like I could have continued. Because I didn't feel like I was in burnout. I didn't have the mental and physical and emotional signs, right? So I would have continued. But for somebody who was showing the signs, they probably would have been like, yeah, I need a rest. And they would have taken that. And I think that kind of shows like, yeah, you were in burnout.
Well, and that easily between the two of us, we lived together and we literally had the same exact lifestyle.
Yeah.
For a good 2 years of our life. And I was drowning half of that time. And you were like, let's keep swimming. Let's keep swimming. And I'm over here like, I need a life jacket. I don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how is she doing this? Like, how am I affected and she's not affected? Or what am I doing wrong? Or what am I doing different that I need to change to be like her? Where in reality, it was just my threshold was different and I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to reset it. I didn't know how to reset myself.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people can do that with understanding it now earlier than before.
Well, and it may have been the rest that you were getting, right? You were saying like you were trying to keep up, but your things that fill your cup, right? Like the things that you enjoy are different than the things I enjoyed. So maybe I had more time for the things that I enjoyed, right? Or maybe I found enjoyment in going to practice and being with my friends, and that's all that I needed to avoid the burnout, versus maybe you needed to go shopping, right? Like,
don't call me out.
I'm gonna call her out. Like you needed, okay, I need to go get my nails done and go shopping. That's how I'm going to reset. Versus me, I'm like, I'm just here with my best friend, so I don't really care what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that's all I needed, you know? So I think that goes back to, are you filling your cup? Are you doing the things that you need to do to reset so that you're not feeling the mental, physical, and emotional burnout?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's maybe kind of where you have felt that burnout, and I wasn't on that same level.
Yeah, which is, again, normal and okay. And I think if you're already noticing signs, that's okay. Let's try adjusting, which is why we're talking about all of this. Let's try adjusting before just jumping to quitting, giving up. Because that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about give up. Don't sell yourself short and just stop. And also don't be scared to communicate. My biggest thing, communicating it early, ahead of time.
That's big for you and being a coach.
Yeah.
Like you want that feedback from your kids.
Exactly.
You, like, as a parent, like, don't be afraid to communicate. If you are paying all of this money for all your kid to go to club practice and buying them new shoes and clubs and getting one-on-one special lessons, and then you're realizing, man, we didn't have dinner, we got to pick up dinner. Oh, my kids got home late at like 10 o'clock at night, we had dinner, and then they had to be up at 7. Like, you as a parent should take a break,
right,
and say, how is this affecting my 12-year-old? Like, and have that open line of communication, so that if they ever do experience that overwhelming burnout sensation, like, tell them, hey, if you ever don't like doing this, tell me. It's okay.
Which is perfect for creating that safe space.
Yeah.
Creating that safe space for your athlete, yourself, so that your athlete can feel comfortable in coming to you and being like, I need a break. I don't want to stop. I don't want to quit. I just need a break. That is okay. But the open communication has to be there in order for it to feel safe. So exactly that. And I think as adults, we forget that we have to create it for ourselves in order for those around us to start getting on the same level as us or understanding it a little bit more.
Yeah. But
And
being
then
open with that communication is definitely one of the first steps to realizing it. Yeah.
And redefining rest. So literal rest, not just stopping and doing one thing. So for the athlete you had that was like Friday I did basketball, Saturday I did track, Sunday I did volleyball, Monday we did sprints. You need actual rest, not a switch up.
Yeah.
Don't be like, well, I didn't do basketball, I just did volleyball.
Yeah.
Don't just do something else.
Because physical rest is important. Like we said, sleep is rest. Like you need sleep. You need that recovery time. Because if not, your muscles will burn out.
Yeah.
Your muscles cannot just continue to build. They need recovery.
Yeah.
And if you're not recovering appropriately, that can lead to physical harm.
Exactly. Yeah. And small changes are way more effective than making those big drastic decisions in anything that you do. So don't, like I said, don't just stop and give up and be like, well, I'm tired, so I'm just not going to do it anymore. That's not how you should handle things. That's not how, like what we're saying how you should handle things. But it is important to realize it and identify it so that you can figure out what your small adjustments are. And listening early helps you last longer.
Listening to your body, listening to your thoughts, listening to the signs, noticing the signs, understanding how your body is feeling and how you're mentally and emotionally feeling, and realizing, hey, I'm not okay. I need to step back because I don't feel like going to practice. Now, is this just today? Did I have a long day? Did I have a hard week? Or is this a chronic cycle that I'm noticing every day, turning into every week, turning into, man, this season, I just didn't wanna.
Right.
Like really listening to your body.
And trying to identify how you can prevent all of that burnout segment of your life.
And that kind of goes into big steps that I wanted to talk about today. And I wrote them down because I didn't want to miss them. Yes. But how to prevent or help prevent burnout. So a lot of y'all listening, if you had said yes to any of these questions and you are feeling the burnout, and the first thing is to identify the type of burnout, right? So is it mental? Is it physical? Is it emotional?
Is it all three?
Jinx. But yeah, see where you're struggling, what's taking that mental or that toll on your body that's causing you to have all of these signs. Where's that coming from? Second thing, stop training like you're still in that peak mode, which is very big. Because if you're always go, again, you don't have that rest time, and your nervous system needs that rest. It's always fired up and it's pushing harder, and it makes things worse. So instead of quitting altogether, right, taking a step back. And I think that's a really big one, because what was that Olympian who decided she was going to take a step back for a little bit on her own terms?
Well, Alyssa, the one that just won the gold, the figure skater.
Yeah, she went through a phase of burnout.
Yeah, I think at 16, she decided to just step away altogether. Now she's 20 and came back.
Yeah, she took a 4-year break. She took a step back and was able to hit that peak of her athletic career.
Right.
But if you just keep pushing, your nervous system will shut down and you're not going to be able to get to your goals. So I think training at a lower effort, taking that step back, cutting the volume down. Like if you're always at 110%, you're going to burn out. You need some time to be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna work out at like 30 to 70% this week. I'm gonna take a pause. I'm gonna focus on the play of the sport, not of the performance, right? So I'm gonna look at this in a general, okay, am I getting better? Not on, oh, that wasn't a perfect pass, or that wasn't perfect, like I didn't run my hardest. That's okay. You can chill, but also like taking time off when you need to allow your body to rest, recover, and you're not going to lose your edge. in 2 weeks. If you take a 2-week break, you're not going to lose your peak performance. Okay.
To be honest, I feel like you actually come out better. I feel like I am better now for the fact that I've been able to identify all those and take the much needed rest at the time that I needed to take.
It fuels that fire.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, man, okay, I'm gonna take some rest breaks, some rest time, and then when you come back, you're like, man, I'm ready to go. Like it's like feeling and rebuilding that desire of what you loved,
relearning how to like love the sport again.
And that kind of goes back into she took the time that she needed off. And then when she was ready, keyword, when she was ready, when you are ready.
Yeah.
Not when your parents think you're ready, not when your coach thinks you're ready,
right.
your physical therapist, your athletic trainer, not when they're ready, on your terms, when you're ready, is really what can help that burnout. Yeah.
Which is kind of what I talked about whenever I had moved to DC. It was like whenever I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not playing volleyball again. I'm not doing this again. And then it was like, okay, I took a break, and then I waited until that spark or that itch came back where it was like, oh, I miss it.
Yeah.
And then I played it
with different levels.
I played at a different level to not have such a high expectation of myself or of other people, thinking of other people have a high expectation of me. And I learned to re-love the game again.
Yeah.
And that's important. That's super important.
Living proof.
Exactly.
And then I think also a good way to avoid the burnout is identifying who you are when you do take that rest break, right? Like you took that time off from volleyball and you reframed, right? You did things that you wanted to do. You were like, you found your worth, and you weren't just like your identity, right? So you reframed it in a positive experience. Just do stuff that are unrelated to your sport. Find a new hobby, go to new social groups or gathering.
Right. And learning how to reset your nervous system.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I think a lot of that triggers, like we read in the Reddit story, there was triggers every time that person came back. It was like I felt sick. I'm crying. My stomach is turning. I can't do this anymore. I don't know what it is. I took a break. But it's identifying that nervous system triggers.
Yeah.
And figuring out ways that put you back into that calm, sympathetic mode of like, I'm relaxed.
I'm doing this for fun.
I can handle what's happening. I can handle what's being thrown at me. I can handle the pressure of the game because I know what my triggers are. I know what will set me off. I know I know how to identify it a little bit better. And a lot of those things that we mentioned it, the sleep is important, and understanding how much rest you actually really need to get in order to perform and be at a level of expectation for yourself. Because in reality, 4 hours of sleep is not going to help your nervous system in anything you do. I've identified that I am constantly in my fight or flight mode.
Yeah. And that's your nervous system.
And it's crazy because to me, it was always like, that's just how I functioned. And I thought that was normal. And it was like, once my therapist started to identify little triggers that I was like, yeah, you're right. I am constantly going and doing it for work. For example, I would be getting ready in the morning and I'm right before I take my son to work. Or take my son to work. My son is 4. He doesn't go to work.
He's a 4-year-old who works. No labor laws here.
No, but before I take him to school, I would I would open up my laptop for work just to check and see if I had any emails.
Yeah.
And then I'd have a manager that I did not enjoy working with email me or have an email in my inbox, and then it immediately set off a trigger. I would start to like feel stressed.
That's
and, like,
a
my
visceral response.
And so it was crazy because like I was doing that constantly every day. I would bring it up to my therapist, and my therapist was like, stop doing that.
Yeah, stop.
Because it's triggering your nervous system. Before you even open your laptop, do your list, take your son to school. When you get home, open your laptop.
Yeah.
If you open your laptop and you start to feel like that, close it, go walk outside, take a break outside, go get some sunlight, go get some fresh air. Vitamin D, yes. Go set your nervous system because you don't want to get stuck in this fight or flight mode forever. And
you know what that reminds me of is those videos on Instagram where it's like me on my way to my 9 to 5 working as a nurse or something, or as a doctor, and they're just listening to heavy metal or just like cussing, and they're just like, yeah. Because that's me on my way to work every morning, just getting it all out. But that's like hyping up my like, it's just making me feel mental good. State, yeah. And then I go into work and I'm like, okay, I'm chilling.
It's like I'm ready for today. I do that a lot where I'm like, before any function, going in, like, this is how I get back and get in my mood. Sometimes I always tell athletes, if that's how you, what the Gen Zs like to say now is lock in.
How you lock in?
Do it.
Yeah.
You need that moment.
You need to lock in.
You need to lock in, right?
Yeah.
And that's a moment for us, how we lock in for ourselves. So identifying burnout, knowing that it's not a flaw, we said it's normal. A lot of people go through it or have identified it. It's a signal to show you that you need to take a step back and redefine your life a little bit in little ways.
Your body is literally telling you to take a step back and kind of look at what your life is as a whole.
Right.
And telling you, hey, it's okay because we need a minute.
And knowing this awareness, having this awareness and knowing this about yourself is a huge strength.
Yeah.
And it's in and itself.
It doesn't come natural. Like we talked about, we didn't even recognize when we were in our burnout phase. And it's so hard to recognize. But if you can do that,
to avoid the break.
Yeah. Because that's what you don't want. You don't want the downfall.
Yeah.
You don't want to be stuck in this position where you're like, I hate it. I hate life. I hate things. Then you start resenting your family.
Yeah.
And why you play the sport and why you did anything and everything. And it's just that cycle. And sucks to be living in that cycle.
That was something I was really looking forward to asking my athletes is, we're already more than halfway through the season. And it's just like, let's reflect on why we started to do club. Because I think towards the end of the season, sometimes we lose that why we do things. And opening up that space of being like, let's remember why we do something. Remember why you're playing the sport. Remember why you have this job or you started this job or you started this thing. Remember that and redefine it and find yourself back in that moment of the why you did it. Why you're doing it. Find your why for it all. And you don't want to have to break in order to observe it.
Yeah.
Or feel like you deserve rest because you're broken at that point.
Catch it early if you can.
Catch it early.
And just finding the little things. Now that we kind of talked about it a little bit, see if you have any of those flags and kind of nitpick what you liked. I mean, you don't have to do all of these things. These are just kind of some strategies on how to avoid that breaking point.
And that's the reason why we talk about a lot about this is to be able to identify some stuff that we didn't know at the time when we were younger, when we were athletes, when we were in that space of being like, man, I wish I would have known this. Talking about it now so that you all can catch it or you all can identify it or you all can know that it is a safe space and it is normal and you are not crazy.
No, you're not crazy.
You're not crazy.
It's normal. And if the burnout is real, the burnout is real.
Yeah.
And you can start taking steps to help you in your future self.
And just know, being strong isn't about pushing through everything. It's knowing when something just needs attention, but not too much attention, because next week we're going to turn our point of view from the stands. Yep.
And you already know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank y'all for watching Athlete Life Unfiltered. Yes. And we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.